What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got the Players Championship stream on the Dot stream coming at you guys here. We got our live audience as well tuning in. Make sure if you guys are here, let us hear you guys in the comments. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, if you're on Twitter, simply hit that retweet button. Would mean a ton to us as we dive into the Players Championship. One of my favorite tournaments of the year. Kind of kicks off Major Week. This is the fifth major, as they so to say. Teaser, as always, we welcome you to with the show. How are you feeling this morning or this afternoon? Or sorry, this evening, man. I'm all over the place. How are we doing, Teaser?
No, I'm good, man. I got kind of annoyed last week. I don't really get annoyed about outrights, but we both had Rory, I think, right? We were both on Rory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just he frustrated me more. I know Spieth in the back of my mind, I knew he wasn't going to win. Just the 50-1 was cool to have, but it was just frustrating Rory, man. Like, he had so many chances to win that event or even get in a playoff. That's all I was hoping for, was just to get to 9 under because, Kitayama would not stand a chance in a playoff against him, but that's how it goes. The silver lining was we went 4 for 4 for the top 20s. Wasn't really Keegan Bradley was a backdoor top 20, but the other three were no sweats. Hatton, and Fitzpatrick were really in the mix all week. So it was a good week. I'm looking forward to this week as well. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite weeks too. So hopefully we can, get an outright again.
And I think I mushed us completely because I sent out a tweet, which I usually don't do, but man, I wanted to kind of get some steam rolling.
I saw that
the show with the Discord, and I was like, hey, we're sweating out Rory Hatton, we're sweating out Rory and Spieth. We're looking good, and then all of a sudden, all hell goes loose. And Spieth bogeys like 3 of the next 4, Hatton bogeys 2 of the next 4, and Rory just hangs around but would not make a putt to take over Kitayama. And hey, Kitayama had some stones on him there. He had
fair dues to him. It was cool seeing him win. It just sucks when you're betting two guys that are in the hunt with him. But
to fight off all of those big names, that was impressive. Yeah. So kudos to Kurt Kitayama out there. Not many people triple a hole and then end up winning the tournament. So definitely luck was on his side there, and then made that putt on 17, which was awesome. So all right, so we got the players. We got some comments here. What's going on, Kelly? Appreciate you tuning back in. We got Dr. Tequila. What's going on, man? We are ready to get after it here. If you guys have any questions over player props, DFS, outright winners, matchups, first round leaders, make sure you guys throw those in the comments. We'll be here till about 8 p.m. Central Time and dive into our outrights, some placements, and then talk DFS throughout on how you can get a little bit different this week. Speaking of DFS this week, it's kind of more of like an elevated field once again. It doesn't have the major field because we don't have those live guys coming in just yet. So you should definitely still treat it as the previous weeks with those elevated events, which have seen at least one person in the $10,000 range be in the optimal lineup with a person that's in the low or the high 6,000. So, a lot of stars and scrubs lineups have been dominating the DFS landscape early on. Usually when you get to these big majors with a lot of awesome value, you can build a lot more balanced lineups and shoot up those leaderboards that way. That's not the case again this week. I know we call it the fifth major, but it's still a toned down field without those live guys. So speaking of live guys, Cam Smith won't be playing, the defending champion. He said he could potentially be in the crowd. We'll see how that goes. I doubt it. I really doubt he's out there. But all right, so let's get into TPC Sawgrass. Great, phenomenal course here. Teaser, take us through the course and what should we be targeting for our player attributes?
Yeah, so it's close to 7,300 yards, par 72. Obviously, Bermuda greens in Florida here. It's one of these Pete Dye courses that we talk about throughout the year that they play at. I mean, it's really known as like a positional course. So there's just a lot of layups off the tee. You're going to see like a lot of 3-woods, stuff like that, long irons just off the tee. There's a lot of water hazards. That's kind of the theme early on in these courses the past couple of weeks. A lot of like, abnormal greenside bunkers. In the past, I guess we've seen a little slight advantage to longer hitters, and it obviously rewards players with elite approach game and short game. And then course history, I kind of jotted down something new this week, just kind of some guys that, have been fairly good here. So Adam Scott, Jason Day, who we'll kind of get into, not really too high on this week, but Fleetwood, Siwoo Kim, who's won here, McElroy obviously won here, Corey Connors, Doug Gim, who I guess I'll touch on later, and Matsuyama. And then there's also guys, multiple top 10s in the last 5 years, Brian Harmon, Shane Lowry, John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Keegan Bradley. And then there's some course comps, Hilton Head, Harbor Town. So it just Pete Dye positional courses. And then if we go to Fantasy National, some key stats I'm kind of looking at this week. Good drives will be key this week. Not so much accuracy. It's more of good drives gained, opportunities gained, proximity 200 plus. So we're kind of going to look at some mid to long iron guys this week as well. And then birdies are better gained. So you just kind of want to see who's making birdies their last 50 rounds. And also stroke gains, tee to green. That's an important one this week. Just want to see who's really good from tee to green their past 50 rounds as well. So that's kind of a deep dive into, the course and, what we're really looking at this week. I'll get right in. I have 4 outrights.
Well, let me stop real quick. If you guys are tuning in for the first time or so, those attributes, you guys can look those up on PGA.com and sort by those. And I mean, you can take notes, you can do all types of different stuff, or however you want to sort them, maybe in an Excel file, and just rate them yourselves, and then kind of make some type of model on your own. And then you can kind of say, oh yeah, I really like my strokes gained to approach to be a little bit more heavier on them. So let's see in the field who's been doing well the past 10 or so or 15 or so events. So that's kind of why we start out with that. So you guys can make some judgments on your guys' end, do some research there as well down the road, just to find some different guys that might fit your guys' preference. So go into some outrights for your teaser. Sorry, I wanted to
that's good. Yeah, that's definitely good to know. Just, I mean, every week is always strokes gain approach. I would always advise putting that in. You just keep wanting to see who's really playing well with their irons and who's not losing strokes on the field the past couple weeks. But my first outright, you kind of talked me into this, and I guess I'll hop in with it on the DK boost. It's Scotty Scheffler. We're finally talking about him this week.
Is unheard of.
I know. It's finally talking about him this week. He does have 2 miscuts here, but like we talked about before, that last year was kind of a abnormal year because the wind, it was just crazy. Some people just got the bad luck draw of it. So I'm not looking too much into last year. I mean, Scotty, he's been just on another planet, so it doesn't really matter course history. He's only played here twice. So I think I got to start the card with him. 1250 is a pretty good number. If you can get that boost, I'll still take him 10-1.
That boost is on DK. So if you're playing DraftKings, make sure he's 10-1 right now. Boost at plus 250. And he's the cover boy. So if you've tuned into any of our shows throughout the years, we don't talk about Scotty Scheffler very much because there's not much value there. And this week we just see a little bit more value than normal. So he'll probably miss the cut. And
probably for the third time. Yeah.
No, I really like him this week. I'm all about him in DFS as well. I'll hop on that the bandwagon of Scotty Scheffler this week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to. And then this next guy, this is also based off the number. I got Colin Morikawa at 25-1. In my model, he's 12th. He's always going to be up there, obviously. But, he's been 6 strokes gained approach his past 50, 4th in fairways gained, 11th strokes gained tee to green. Even with the positional course aspect of it, he does play well on these tough positional courses because he's always going to be in the fairway. And I like a guy who has the elite approach game he does. So It's really a solid number at 25-1. One of those elite guys you can kind of get in the mid-tier 20 range. Like I said, he's just a ball striker that can really translate here with the better conditions this year. I think he kind of got screwed with the conditions last year as well. I think he was the afternoon morning guy. So it was just, you couldn't really do much last year. That's how bad it was with the rain and the wind. So I'm looking for him to bounce back this year. And then if we're going off recent form, I think last week he had a bad week, but he has a 6 this year, a 3rd and a 2nd. He should have won one of them, but he choked, obviously, the Century. But he's coming in with, honestly, one of the best recent forms there is.
Yeah, and I thought last week that course just didn't fit him.
It didn't fit him.
I think this course, with the way you have to shape your shots, multiple dog legs left, multiple dog legs right, I think his accuracy and approach definitely is around the green. I really, really like Morikawa this week, so I'm right there with you there.
Yep. Yeah, I think it doesn't play as tough as last week as well. So he doesn't really need that, short game that you would need at Arnold Palmer. So, and then my third one, we're going to go back to this guy. I've seen him a lot last week. He didn't play pretty well. I think he made the cut, but he finished, I think, less than T40. So that's Will Zalatoris, 35-1. I think he's getting a lot healthier. I don't know if he's 100% from that back surgery, but he's trending a little bit the right direction. He's 10th in the model, or 11th in the model there. He's always good on approach. He's 8th strokes gain approach, 9th opportunities gained, 4th birdies are better. So he's always going to be making those birdies in bunches. And then he also has 2 top 30s here in 2 starts. I mean, that's not really what you're looking for with an outright, but I mean, that's pretty consistent there. He's making a cut. So hopefully, we have him in contention going down the stretch. And then my last one, this is kind of a guy, he obviously doesn't win often or doesn't really ever win, is Shane Lowry, 50-1. His rank, I believe he's 15th or he's 16th now. 9th strokes gain approach, 11th opportunities gains. His last 2 starts here, he's had 2 top 20s. He plays really well here, actually. Of course, fits him pretty well. And honestly, his recent form, he kind of started out slow this year, but he has 2 top 20s in his last 3 starts now at the Honda and I think somewhere else. I don't know what he did last week. But, yeah, he's been playing pretty decent. I like him again this week to, top 20 again or, be in the hunt coming down the stretch. So I do like – that's one of my favorite mid-tier guys at 50-1. There's some guys that have been just getting hammered down to the 50 to 40 to 30 range.
Yeah.
And it's just I would rather pick him. I know he doesn't have a lot of win equity, but at that 50-1, that's something I'm looking for a guy who plays well here.
Are you double dipping then? You're taking outright and then top 20?
Yeah, I just spoiled the top 20. But, yeah, Shane Lowry, I got 2-1 as well, top 20.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll get into those after you do your outrights. But
yeah, especially – I know it's not going to be as windy as it was last year, but there's wind involved. There's going to be 10 to 15 mile an hour gust at times. So guys that play better in wind, and Shane Lowry fits that mold, 50-1, definitely can see him. I would probably lean more towards the top 20 on my end for him. The funny thing is I'm looked back on my old notes from last year. So I use the same notepad every single season and we just kind of keep going with that. He was an outright for me last year and a top 20. His top 20 was plus 200 last year. And so his top 20 this year, it is plus 200 once again. So, you're right there. The odds makers made it right, I believe. And then I also put him as a first round leader last year. So I was all over Shane Lowry last year. So I can definitely see it again this year. A couple outrights. So I've already shared. We got Scotty Scheffler, and then we'll have Willie Z. So I'm going to go back to the well with Willie Z, and from teasers points earlier, we got the only thing that concerns me is his strokes gained around the green. That's the only stat in the last 10 tournaments that's been minus strokes gained, basically. That he's been pretty bad around the green, which definitely is an area of a concern. But his putter, he's gained strokes gained on every tournament in his last 10. And what a lot of times Willie Z struggles with is his putter. So if he's finding that putter, he can kind of maneuver his way around the green enough to make up for those particular, scramble shots or whatnot. So I think Willie Z was getting a lot of love last week. I didn't think he needed that. I don't think he was prepared for that course, so to say, for the longevity of it. And you kind of saw that it down the stretch, he kind of faded. This week, I think he's all for it, and I really like his outright, and I'm going to double dip and put him as my a top 20 as well. Mm-hmm. So Willie Z is one of my favorite plays. Those are the only two outrights that I currently have. I'll have probably one or two more that I'll tweet out on the card. I'm always one that I struggle with outrights, but I really like my top 20s and I like my top 40s. But like just to sit here and say, this person can win this golf tournament. Sometimes it's tough to you just kind of throw it out as a limb because these guys are plus 5,000, plus 3,500, all types of stuff. So those are the two that I feel the most confident currently with, and I'll have one or two more. But I do have one top 10. I do expect Jon Rahm to come back from those last three holes that somehow, some way he showed that he was actually human. But number two in the model, I'm not going to sway away. He's a very good pivot in DFS for those that are going after Rory, those that are going after Scotty. So if you want to pivot off of to Jon Rahm, his ownership is around this 15 or 16%, which is absolutely insane. You got guys you got 6 or 7 guys in that 20% or plus range, and Jon Rahm sitting there at 15, 16%. So Jon Rahm, top 10. I'm going to take plus 125. And that's one of my favorite bets of the week. And Kelly has a comment here. Says can get plus 175 on FanDuel for top 30 for Lowry. So that's a good one.
I honestly, I don't have FanDuel, but I would honestly take that more than the top 20 just to still get those, 10, just to be a little safer. Yeah. I like that a lot. So,
yep. And then Dr. Tequila says plus 105, a misprice for Rahm top 10. What book was that? Because DraftKings currently right now has got plus 125. So whatever book you got, try to get on DraftKings. It's got plus 125. I absolutely love Rahm this week. If you want to take, so it's on FanDuel. Okay, yeah. So try to get that on. Try to get that on DK. But I love Rahm. If you want to take a Rahm outright, I think he's at 12-1 right now or something like that. Or you can wait and see. I think he's 12-1. Oof. Let me see. Let me just confirm. Sorry, no, he's 10-1. 10-1. Okay. Same as Scotty. Same with Scotty, but he's plus 125, top 10. So that's what I'm rolling with. What other top 20s you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Will Zalatoris too with you. Talked about him, Lowry as well. And then I have two more. Cam Young at plus 190. I'm coming back on him this week. I was off of him for a week. It didn't backfire in any way, so that's good. I thought it was going to. I was nervous for a little bit, but
Caesar was texting me all that first round. I was like, I cannot believe I actually didn't pull the trigger. He's like, I said it on the stream. I said I liked it. Everybody did, but I was like, oh, you didn't take it. He was so pissed.
I was glad Rahm went 7 under that day, but no, I think this is one of those guys. I mean, he fits in the model, so he's 13th. Par 4 scoring, he's top 10, 6 birdies or better. Strokes gained tee to green, he's always top 10. So this is a guy where 2 top 20s his last 2 starts. It's not really a matter of he's like a great course fit. He just gets hot. Like we saw it last year when he plays well for spurts of months down the road. If he's playing bad, he plays bad for a couple weeks here and there. But it was glad to see him, get some good golf out of him last week. So I wasn't too mad I was on him. Now we can kind of just ride him for a month or so because I think he's going to get hot here. Maybe win an event. I'm not sure because it's looking bleak, man. Because every time he's in contention, something happens. But I think he's going to get it eventually. But my last one here, I'm not a big fan of this guy, but Tommy Fleetwood at plus 250. It's more of a value play just because of how he plays here. 3 top 20s here and 5 starts. So obviously that's pretty good. 60% of the time, top 20. He's a great iron player. Everyone knows that. That's his talent. He hits fairways. So he's gonna put the ball in play on the positional course. So I do like him plus 250. I know you're going to talk about him top 40, but that's also another, if you want to get a little safer with it, I think he's plus money there as well. So it's either if you want to go for that value at plus 250 or just be a little safe. I like either one. So, and then I'll just kind of just put my two top 40s out there. The one I'm going to play for sure is Brian Harman. I've done it the past 3 years at the Players. It's just a tradition at this point. He plays well here. Yeah, he's plus 150. 3 top 10s here. He's played here, I think, the past decade. But, I mean, what can you say about the guy? He loves positional courses. This is where he kind of, makes his money really, is getting top 10s at these types of courses. He's great off the tee, and he's a solid mid to long iron player. So you can – I could honestly see him as maybe like an FRO as well. That would be a pivot. Usually he starts really hot here. Maybe like a first round top 5 bet or something like that if you have those. But yeah, I like him as well. And then a question mark for me, the last guy on my card for top 40 is Molinari. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet at plus 160. I know we talked about him before, but he does have 4 top 10s here, but it's kind of outdated. It's from 2017 and 2016. So that's when he was, a little better than he is now, when he was, trending. But
he's in pretty good form, though. He had a pretty good last week. So
he's in decent form. He does have top 10 statistics here throughout his time playing here. So that's kind of why he popped out to me this week. Obviously, it is a top 40, so it's not like we need him to really go off. Just need him to make the cut and, have a few good rounds on the weekend. So plus 160 there is pretty good value. That also could be a deep dive, like kind of a risky play for DFS as well.
Yeah, and I was going to recommend him as a sleeper pick this week for sure. He's coming in less than 5% owned. So if you want to take it on the DFS front with those stars and scrubs lineup, Molinari is definitely in there. I got 5 sleepers for you guys that I'll share you guys in a little bit. So I'm all over those sleepers for you guys. I have some of them in my top 40 for sure. But to round out my top 20 card, right along with the Rom, plus 125 is one of my favorite bets. Anytime I get this guy plus money at the top 20, I have to take it. And that name is Max Homa. And if you were with me a couple weeks ago, he was right up there. I think he got second the one time that we took his top 20 at even money. And once again, he's even money, plus 100. Stacked field, I get it. But this guy has been on fire. And there's no slowing down, it seems like. Out of his last 5 events, he's got a third, a first, a 39th, a second, and a 14th. So 4 out of those 5 are top 20s. And once again, I don't think he's got too good of. So he's got a miscut in 21, and then he got 13th last year. But I think without the course history, the recent form is obviously there. Anytime I get Max Homa there at a plus money, I'm going to take him. I'm also taking Morikawa at plus 110, top 20, for all the reasons that Teaser said. Once again, I'll say I'm on Willie Z. And then the one that I took last stream for last year's Players Tournament, he was at plus 260 then. Now he's at plus 230, and that is Corey Connors. So I'm back on the Corey Connors train. And for good measure, because I was so mad at myself that I was missing out. Because if you've watched any of our streams, we were all over Corey Connors from the get-go. And we kind of faded off to him, and now he's coming back on the realm. And I'm going to go back to the well here. Corey Connors, top 20, plus 230. I'm only going to put a half unit on that, but I really, really like Connors this week. You can play him in DFS as well. I think he's coming in mid-ownership. He's at 18, so people are he's on the higher end, but he's not in that 20 percentile just yet. So like those 4 for top 20, and then my top 40 to round out some guys that should be able to get up there. Tom Hoagie at plus 120. I'm surprised Teaser was not on this guy. I was shook. He's got a really good track record here. 72nd, 30th, 22nd, and then 33rd. So
Okay.
3 of the last 4 he's gotten top 40. The kicker here was last week how he missed the cut. He was -1, and then there's 2 holes left, and he shoots like +4 in those 2 holes and misses the cut. And other than that, the guy's been playing solid. So a lot of people are off of him in DFS. I get some good value here in the betting markets. Hoagie is at 5% owned in DFS. He's one of my sleepers that I'll definitely have a lot of and go heavier, probably around 15% in my lineups, 10 to 15 to go a little bit over the weight on the field there. And then I'm going to go with Fleetwood. To go a safer bet. I know Teaser's on his top 20. I'll go with the top 40. And then Theegala and Webb Simpson. So Webb Simpson's not on my top 40 card, but he's going to be a very, very key piece in my DFS lineups. Both of those guys were stellar last Sunday. They played significantly better than the field. I think they pull that off into this weekend. Webb, he's got a couple missed cuts. He also won this tournament in 2018. So this is a guy that's had multiple times. He's played here since 2009. He knows this course like the back of his hand. I'm okay with going back to Webb Simpson. He's going in currently in DFS at 3%. And Theegala is currently – so if we're in the same realm here, Theegala, I'm getting +110 value at top 40, and he's 12% owned in DFS. So a lot of people are going on to the Theegala train. And I'll go ahead and take the bait if it is one, but I really like the way Theegala is going and striking the ball for sure. So those are my top 40s. And then one other sleeper that this could bite me in the butt, but Billy Ho. And Billy Ho, he has played here since 2013. He's missed 1 or 2 cuts. And he's finished 37th, 26th, and then 58th last year. And being from Florida, I believe he plays this course frequently. He should know this course very, very well, just like Webb Simpson. And I'm getting him at 2% ownership. So a lot of those guys that I'm trying to find with value have positive course history, and I can see them making cuts and then making some noise on Saturday and Sunday. Not winning the tournament. I don't think the Billy Ho or Webb Simpson or Theegala are going to win the tournament, but they give you solid value to get your lineups unique enough to shoot up those leaderboards, which this week are very, very, those contests are very large. So you got to make sure you get a little bit unique for sure. You got any first round leaders or matchups as we round out the show?
First round leaders, man.
I got a couple.
I'm going to say, we're both going to be on this guy. I'm not a fan that he's in the afternoon, but you could see his price go up or down depending on how the morning goes. So, it could be a potential wait and see. Cam Young at 55-1. We already talked about that before the show. I wish it was the morning because you can just see him going 8 under in the morning. That's what he does when it's just wet out, right? Get out there before anything really happens. But that's one guy I'm kind of eyeing at because, he can go low anytime he wants. Another guy I said, this is kind of just like a, throw out there, Brian Harmon. He doesn't go low too much, but you can see like a 4 under, 5 under round for him. That's at 90-1. And then
I'll back your Cam Young for sure.
And then I guess one of the big guys I could see, I don't know, maybe Willie Z.
Ooh, I was debating that one.
45-1. I don't see Home is not a guy who goes low. He's 4 under to type of guy, but Cantley I can't see. I'm gonna stay away from Rory, Scotty, or Rahm. It's kind of just pick it, but I would like to be in the 40 to 50 range. I think Willie Z is a good one. Cam Young,
So the number one guy in the model last week was Xander, and we didn't touch him. We both texted each other and said we both talked about Xander and Cantlay, how they were the top 2 in the model. We were like, we don't understand why they're, and then all of a sudden they pop off the first couple rounds. They faded a little bit later on. Cantlay came back strong, but then Xander faded away. I'm going to go back to Xander here, and I'm going to take a first-round leader plus 4,000. So number one in the model again, something screaming at me. I'm going to take a first-round leader on Xander plus 4,000. Sprinkle, do 0.1 or 0.2 units or something like that. Whatever it is of yours, just sprinkle that. Those are the two favorite ones, Xander and then Cam Young. I could see Willie Z shooting low, but those are my two favorite ones. Two guys that we talked about last week that we have not even discussed once this week, Rory and Fitzpatrick. I really want to add Fitzpatrick. I'm off of Rory this week in the betting wise. I'll have some exposure in DFS. What are your thoughts on Rory or Fitzpatrick? Are we just pissed off at Rory from last week? Is that why we're not talking about him?
You can't. I know it's hard. It's hard to just keep your heart out of it, but I mean, it's a little bit of both. I counted on Rory last week, man, and he doesn't he usually finishes and it just sucks. But and I don't usually go to the 10-1 range for an outright, so that's why it kind of hurt more. But it's just I can't bet 800 this week. Yeah. Or I mean, really, you can do just top 10 is it if you can get a live on him because he may start slow, so we'll see.
Our basis last week for Rory was. This was his home course. He knows this course so damn well that I'll take a 9-1. I'm just going to say let's go that route, and didn't work out this week. I just don't see it again. The 9-1, I don't think it's justified this week whatsoever.
I wouldn't be. So the thing is, you just got to be content. I'm not going to be mad if Rory wins. Dang, I should have took him type thing. There's no value there this week. Like you said last week, I thought there was a little value on the 10-1, which I mean, he should have won the tournament, so we were right. But
right, we got a comment here. We got Carlos says, "Let's go teaser."
He's been cashing with me. Let's go. I'm glad to hear it, man. That's what we're here for.
Love it. Anything on Fitzpatrick? What do you think there? I really want to go back to him.
Yeah, I can. First of all, I have one more sleeper for first round leader who just popped on the board. Keith Mitchell, 70-1. He goes out I just saw his AM. He goes out at 7:00 AM. So he'll go 6 under and cash it. But no, anyways, Fitzpatrick, I'm content with cashing what I did on him last week. It was a struggle to get the top 20. He was all over the place. When you bet on someone, you follow him pretty closely. So I'm looking at his shot track throughout the week. He didn't play too well. He's an elite guy, so he got a top 20 without his best stuff. So I think he went 5 over on Saturday. And
the thing that alarmed me was his approach. So his approach,
that's what I'm saying. He didn't look that great, but he kind of salvaged his week because he's a good player. So
he is an elite scrambler, right? So that's where. But his last 4 events: miscut 29th, miscut 14th. He's just hit or miss. I
think he's still a little bit, some. I don't think he's 100% yet, but I mean, last week was. We were on him because that's the course it's more of a grinder course. That's what he's good at. But this week you don't need to scramble as much. That's not what you do here. So I don't think his game's where he wants it to be right now. So I'm off of him this week.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's why Willie Z and Morikawa are just screaming at me. Right. Absolutely screaming.
Yeah.
So 2 guys that I'm going to mention before we get off here that I'm not completely fading them in DFS, but I just cannot justify their ownership. And it's Jason Day coming in close to 30% and Keegan Bradley coming in at over 25%. I get the recent form. I get the course history. I get it all. But, man, I cannot back those guys. 1, in the betting market because they're overvalued. And then 2, on the DFS side because everyone's going to have them. So you got to think to yourself, what's an easy way to fade 30% of the field? Just don't play Jason Day. Or if you do, go underweight. Say, okay, I'll play him in 10% of my lineups, or I'll play him in 5 to 15% of my lineups and cut it in half. But you cannot. And maybe Jason Day or Bradley will go 1 and 2 this weekend and shove it right in my face. But we've been here before, and we've seen guys run up the ownership, have a lot of buzz throughout the week, and get top 60 or miss the cut. So it just doesn't have too much value here. And if you're playing high risk lineups, if you're playing low risk, start with one of those 2 for cash games. But man, for high risk GPPs, I'm okay with being underweight or completely fading both of them.
Yeah, I'm more Bradley. I don't mind the love for him because he's been good this year and he won in the fall. But this Jason Day stuff's actually like annoying the hell out of me with all these. It really is. It's like, dude, like there's no win equity there. People like he's gonna win this week. Like he's been playing okay. Like he's not the Jason Day from 4 years ago. He still has back. He still has injury issues. Like it's not like he's not a stud right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm just tired of like the
right
love.
there with you.
And like I love Ricky Fowler too, but like the love for him, man, it's like relax because like everyone's like I'm on his top 20 this week, and then what happens? He's there on the weekend and he comes T25 because he can't put together a weekend. He just falls back. So they keep going to the well and they're just getting burned every time. But
and this is just me. I'm going right off of Jason Day's since January. He's got an 18th, 7th, a 5, a 9, and a 10. That's basically why.
Is that this year, Jason Day?
Yeah, that's this year, Jason Day, which is phenomenal.
It is, but
you're also getting on the bandwagon a little bit too late. I think. I think it's one of those things where you want to be that week ahead, especially in DFS. You want to be the week ahead in the betting market. But man, you're way behind on Jason Day if this is the first time you've looked at him this year.
I'm more angry about the outrights I've seen at 31 to 35 to 1. Like, come on, like. He's T10'd a lot this year, but is he winning? No, he's not winning. He's not closing tournaments. It's just frustrating to see people taking Bradley in the 30s and Jason Day in the 30s. Like, how is Will Zalatoris the same price as Jason Day? That is beyond me. So
blows my mind. Yeah. So Willie Z's 35 to 1, and Jason Day currently is 28 to 1. And I'll take Willie Z any day of the week over Jason Day. Yeah. Hopefully someone find a matchup out there. I'll take it.
I actually literally just looked at it. You're going to love this one. It's Zalatoris plus 110 over Jason Day.
Let's take it. Let's hammer.
Bro, are you joking me?
Let's do it. I'm down.
To take that.
I'm 100% down. All right. That's on the official card.
Yep. It's on a local, by the way, if anyone's watching. I don't know if hopefully, I don't think DraftKings will have it, but if you have a local, they should have it. A local.
Wow. Book. Yeah, that's I like that one a lot. So, all right, we'll if you guys have any additional questions, shoot them right away. We'll be here maybe another minute or so. I want to throw out maybe a couple more names that I'm thinking about adding to my player pool. If you guys have any other questions, make sure if you're on YouTube or Twitch, throw them in the chat and we'll put them up on the screen. The other guy, Sung Jae. What do you think of Sung Jae this week? I don't think you could ever go wrong putting him on your card because he's such an elite ball striker. His approach game is unbelievable. I think this course fits him pretty well. I just haven't found myself to put him on my card. I will have him a part of my player pool still, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either like fade him or love him this week. It's just I can't put everyone on my card. He always seems to just miss my card a little bit just by like you got to narrow it down. He's usually the guy who finds just close enough to it, but I can't put on. I don't know. I'm just not a big Sung Jae guy. That's just what it comes down to. How many T20s does he have this year? I don't even know. I know he went 21st last week. I'm sorry for your love for you there.
Why did you bring that back up?
Yeah,
I had for those tuning in, I had Thomas and M top 20, thinking I'm going to sweep it. I'm really, really pumped about it. And they both get top 21. So yeah, it was brutal.
I mean, this year, 21, 42, 56, 6th at the Waste Management, that's good. 4th at the Farmers, that's pretty good where that was. 18th at the Amex, nothing special with what that was. So I would give them two good tournaments this year, 6th and a 4th.
Yeah, course history, 17th or miscut in 19, 17th and 21, and 20 and 22 last year. You got 55th. So
the guy plays so much. It's like I don't even know like what fits it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you don't know like what he likes. So it's just weird. He's kind of an anomaly to me. I don't mind just keeping him off the card, but plus 150 is a good value there. Although I like Zalatoris at that price better. It's just a matter of who you like better at that price. So, and
then the last guy that will wrap up the show on number 3 in the model. We haven't sniffed his name pretty much all year long. Tony Finau. What do you think of him?
I was gonna go. So that's funny because I actually loved him this week until which I could be wrong about this, but loved his top 20 at plus 130. Immediately took him off when I saw his players history. Let me look it up this week right now because it's absolutely atrocious.
So he's played here 6 times. He's missed 4 cuts.
It's atrocious. I know last year we're not going to put a lot on last year because he probably got the bad end of the stick.
Yeah.
But miscut 21, a 22nd, a 57th, and a miscut. That's horrendous. This is a course where, like, if you don't play well here, you don't play well here. It's like the Masters. It just doesn't fit your eye. So I don't think this fits his eye. And I took him immediately off the card when I saw that. So that's a big red flag. 4 missed cuts for an elite guy like that. You shouldn't be missing cuts like that at a tournament. So over and over again. So
and that's the perfect thing. You know, if you're playing DFS, if you're sports betting, try to find a reason to not play these top guys because everybody can go find a perfect reason. Obviously, it's Rory McIlroy. Yeah, you want to play him. It's Max Homa. You want to play him. It's Patrick Cantlay. You want to play him.
Right.
Find a reason not to play somebody, and then you have an edge over the field. I strongly think that. So right there, Finau, 4 out of 6 missed cuts. Pretty good form this whole year. It's just somebody that we have not got to, and I'm on Teaser's train right there.
We're not always right about it. It's just like what you have to do. Like you can't bet everyone, so we just got to narrow it down. So
all right. Well, we went a little bit long. We appreciate you guys tuning in. All the questions. We will be back next week, same time, same place. If you guys have any additional questions that pop up, join the Discord in the link below. And if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're on Twitter, hit that retweet button. We appreciate all the love from you guys. So let's cash some tickets. Let's have another huge week out of Teaser. I will join the party once again, and we'll tweet out our official cards in about 30 minutes or so. So appreciate you guys tuning in.
Peace.
See you guys.